Hey everyone, it's Austin Broder with Digital Media Academy and Animation Redefined. Home stretch, we're almost there. This is the last video. So, now that we have our render, let's go that extra mile and polish it up.
Alright, now let's finish up this image by taking it into Photoshop. I'm going to create a new Photoshop file, 1920 by 1080. I'll click Create. Then in my Finder, I'm going to go get my render and put it into Photoshop. Alright, so now I have a transparent background where I can drop in whatever kind of background I want. I'm going to choose a setting, and what I want to look for is something that matches the lighting. You can see that the main light is coming from this direction, so I want to find something that looks as if it's projecting light from that direction and is darker in this area. If you're looking for an image on Google and you can't find one that's large enough, you can go to Tools and change it from any size to large. So I found this image and I'm going to try using this one. I'm going to move my guy over a little bit to change the composition. And currently he doesn't pop very much, which is because the background image is very high contrast, it's very bright, and it's drawing the attention away from my model. So what I can do is I can make sure that my background layer is selected, create a layer, new adjustment layer, and let's do hue saturation. Click OK. I'm going to change it so the saturation is a little bit lower. By creating a new adjustment layer, I'll be able to continue making changes later on. I'm going to turn my saturation a little further down because objects with the most color and contrast will be where the eye will go first. I'm going to create another adjustment layer for brightness contrast. Click OK. And I can turn down the contrast and the brightness a little bit. So now my head is becoming the focus a little bit more, but I can still make a couple more changes. I'm going to select my head layer. Now I'm going to make a couple more adjustments to the face to make it become the focus of the image. Let's click on our head, and this time go to Image, Adjustments. Let's do Brightness Contrast. This way it only affects the face. I'm going to turn up the contrast a little bit and play with the brightness to make it match my background. Okay. To help bring even more focus to my model, I'm going to select the background and go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'm going to turn it up to 8. I still want the background to be visible, but there's less to focus on. And now I want to give him a body. In Mudbox, you could have created an additional object, like a sphere, and then modeled an actual body on top of that. I didn't do that in my model, so I'm going to create something from an image. If you're using this technique, be sure to look for another image that also matches the lighting of the face. Okay, I've got an image. One of the last things I can do to kind of add a little bit more of a frame around it would be to create a vignette. So I'll create a new layer at the top of the stack, and I can right click on the canvas to open up my brush settings and do a really large brush with no hardness. For my 1920 by 1080 canvas, I found like about 1,000 pixel brush. It looks good. I'm also going to turn down the opacity, and now I can just kind of trace along the edge, making sure to only kind of touch the edges. I can adjust the intensity of this by changing the opacity of my vignette layer. Now I can make any more last minute adjustments I want, and I have a final image. Using a technique like this, you can rapidly iterate on an idea that you might have. I ended up with a suit-clad, suave Ferrari driver, but you could use this to create orcs, or wizards, elves, mechanic creatures, or whatever your imagination allows you to come up with. Sometimes it's nice to come up with some concept art first, or just do it from scratch. But I hope that this allows you to work more creatively, fluidly, and more quickly, so that you can do this stuff and enjoy it and create what you've always wanted to create.
All right, that's it. That's the whole series. That's all the videos. You're done. You made it. I hope this was really helpful, and if you did find it helpful, you should definitely like this video and all the other ones, and subscribe to the channel. Do it all. And if you want to learn a whole lot more, check out our summer courses. You learn so much. This series was just one day in a week of one of those classes. And we have 2-week courses like my DMA Studios course, in which we will create an entire animated short film from scratch in 2 weeks. That sounds fun. You should definitely check it out. I'll see you out there. This has been fun. I'm Austin Broder, signing off.